Hello, YouTube. Okay, now I'm here to answer a question that was brought up. Which edition of Windows 7 or Windows Vista should I purchase? 64 or 32-bit? I wouldn't buy Vista at all, if I were you. At all. Never, ever, ever buy Vista. Buy 7. Seriously. It will make you much happier. Now the question is, which do you install? I followed Chris Perillo's advice for the most part with hardware, judging it through a hardware standpoint. Whereas what he says is if you have 2 gigabytes of RAM, then 32-bit is fine. You know, it's just fine. Anything over 2 gigabytes, Windows can read it, but it doesn't always utilize it. So it's in your best interest to stick with 32-bit if you're at 2 gigabytes. If you're above that, such as 3, 4, 6, 8, etc., then I would suggest installing 64-bit because it's taking full advantage of your hardware. And plus, 64-bit is sort of coming into its own, just like 32-bit did in the 90s with Windows 95 and 98. And not only that, but 64-bit is faster. It's not one of those marketing gimmicks. It actually does do something for your system. It's a different processor architecture, and that is much faster. It brings your processor speed way up, which makes responsiveness much better. It makes things snappy. It also makes things like video encoding and things that use a lot of CPU. It gives them a lot of power, let's say. So, yeah, that's basically my advice, is to judge it by your hardware. But also judge it by your software. That's the second part of it. If your software is not compatible, in 32-bit already, then stick with 32. You know, if your software is compatible in 32-bit, if your software is 32-bit, it should work on a 64-bit edition of Windows because of Windows on Windows 64. That they've put in 64-bit editions of Windows from XP Professional 64-bit edition. It's been there. But yeah, first and foremost, judge by your hardware. And I do it by the RAM rule. 2 gigabytes, stay with 32. Anything above 2 gigabytes, go to 64. I think that's your best bet. So, yeah. Hope that clears a few things up, just as the other video did. Have a good one, everybody.